Hey guys, Dr. Tobisch here again with Whitefish Chiropractic. This is our fourth video looking at the at-home strength and conditioning exercises for the non-surgical knee replacement. In this video, we're going to be looking at some different glute bridge variations, some geared towards the glute max, some the glute medius, some the hamstrings. So let's check those out. First bridge variation we're going to look at is going to be kind of a traditional glute bridge targeting the glute max. So let's see what that looks like. You're just going to get started. You're going to lay down on your back. From here, we'll keep feet about shoulder width apart, and then we want the heels maybe 8 to 10 inches distal from the glutes. So from here, we're gonna keep the core secure in a pretty good position so our spine's not moving all over the place. Then we're gonna drive our heels down into the floor to bring our hips up to a nice straight position here. At the top, you're gonna squeeze the glutes hard for a second or two, and then come back to the start position. We don't want to be in a weird position where our heels are too far away from our glutes or our hips. So if we're in a position like this, as you come up, you're not really going to feel your glutes, you're going to feel more hamstring, and that's not really what we're shooting for. Alternatively, if your heels are really close to your hips and glutes, that's just going to be kind of weird position. You'll also notice that you don't really get a good contraction or good feel for the glute max. So kind of find that position in between and then work with that. Drive through the heels, squeeze the glutes hard for a second or two, then come back to the starting position. That's our glute bridge. The next bridge exercise we're going to look at is more geared towards working the gluteus medius. We call this a frog pulse. So let's look at how this is set up. So we'll go on your back, but instead of just having the feet and knees shoulder width apart, you're actually going to keep the inside of your feet together, and you can allow the knees to fall off to the sides a bit. From here, we're gonna do kind of the same thing. We're gonna drive the feet down into the floor to bring the hips up. You're gonna feel this deeper and a little bit further out in the hips in that gluteus medius. So from here, again, we'll activate the core to keep the spine in a good position. Then we're gonna drive through the feet down into the floor and squeeze the sides of the hips at the top position for a second or two, then come back to the beginning. Drive through, squeeze the butt muscles for a second or two, then back to where we started. And that is our frog pulse. The last bridge exercise we're going to look at is called a box bridge. So we're going to use a box or something elevated that you can rest your heels on to help us target the hamstrings more than the glutes. So let's see what that looks like. We'll go on the back, heels elevated on the box, and we kind of want the heels further away from the hips and the glutes. You'll feel that when they are further away, you can feel your hamstrings working harder, as opposed to if the heels were close to the hips and glutes, you wouldn't really feel the hamstrings doing the work. So kind of find that perfect range. From here, we'll lay flat, activate the core a little bit to control the spinal position, and from there, we're gonna squeeze the hamstrings, pull the heels down into the box, and bring our hips up to the high position, and we'll squeeze the hamstrings for a second or two, then slow and control, we'll come back to where we started. So again, we're gonna drive the heels down into the box, feel the hamstrings work hard, squeeze for a second or two, and then with good control, we'll come back to where we started, and that is our box bridge.